I might say a few things in this video that might piss off a lot of people and a lot of people inside the coaching industry, but I truthfully think that online coaching is going to be dead in 2026 unless we really change a few things about the industry in general. And it really pisses me off, quite frankly, because I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've spent well over $30,000 on coaching and courses, and it's completely changed my life. And I've also made $400,000, $500,000 for other people in the coaching and courses space, and have changed a lot of people's lives in the process, right? So, and that holds near and dear to my heart because I know I would never be where I am without me investing that kind of money in myself. And today we have a huge problem with how the coaching space is going. And I think by the end of this video, hopefully you'll maybe change a little bit about how you are running your coaching or your course business, or maybe just open your eyes a little bit to reflect back on why you're actually doing this in the first place. And, in turn will help you make more money, change more lives, and be a better fucking human being, quite frankly. For personal context, coaching and courses completely changed my life. I've spent my last $6,000 multiple times. I've spent my last $2,000 multiple times. I've $30,000 plus. I don't know the exact number on buying information or coaching of some sort. I've also made $400,000 to $500,000 for other people doing the exact same thing. Teaching other people how to do their skills, etc. So I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've purchased really, really, really bad courses in coaching, and I've purchased really, really, really good ones as well. And so from being on both sides of this experience, it's really exhausting to see the current state of where we're at in the space. So the number one problem I see, it all starts from the beginning. If you look at it from an outside point of view, if you look at everyone, the best optimal path for money-making purposes is, right, you learn a skill, okay? You sell the skill, you make, $5,000 to $10,000 a month. Then you create said course on how you did XYZ. And now instead of making $10,000 a month, now you're up to 50 or up to 100, right? And now your numbers have completely elongated, right? Now you look around at where we're at in the coaching space, and what do we see, right? We see this big clusterfuck of flexing and new Lamborghinis, and these are the numbers I did this month, right? And now because of this ultra flexing, I'm doing it for other men type issues, because that's the state of what it looks like from the outside looking in is, online coaching. What online coaching can do is it gets you this Ferrari. What buying this course can do is get you this Ferrari. What doing this does gets you, X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars in my bank account. And now the focus is primarily on money, and the focus is not on actually changing people's lives. And it makes me kind of sick to my stomach, actually, because money is very important, and I 100% believe, I'm not saying you should not be making a bunch of money. I think it is 100% valid for somebody, if they are an expert in something and they dedicate a large majority of their life to helping people who were once in their position genuinely transform their life, and they've done so through courses or coaching or anything of that expert should be paid a ridiculous amount of money. I think that's 100% fair. If we think about money and value exchange, like if you're providing that type of transformation for somebody, you should be compensated extremely well. There's nothing wrong with that. I think where we're really going wrong here is where the whole game is just who can run up the bigger bag to flex on Instagram to impress other men about how much of a bag you got, to then sell said program because of look at the bag I got, when we all know, chances are, not everyone, chances are you got your big bag because of selling the coaching and the courses versus the actual thing that got you to able to sell the coach and coursing. if that makes sense. The coaches and coursing. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I think overall, we're too money centric. And we really need to transition back into the reason why we started in the first place, or the reason why you started in the first place when it comes to coaching people, into genuinely transforming lives, right? The number one should not be how big of a bag can I get? Because when that happens, we run into issues like we just saw recently. I won't mention any names about people not paying sales teams and things like that. But when your number one focus is money, everything else goes to shit, right? So now your clients aren't getting results, and now you just sold someone a $15,000 program because you have to, by the way, because of ad costs and because to pay your team and all that stuff. So say you a $15,000 program, $5,000 to $6,000 goes to a team, another couple $100 or $1,000 goes to ad costs. You only have like $7,000 left over. After that, let's say they charge back because you overpromised and underdelivered because you don't really give a shit about it. You don't really give a shit about, them actually transforming your lives. All you do is give a shit about getting your bag up so you can flex on Instagram. Because of that, now they charge back and now you're negative. And that's how we end up in the situation like we just saw recently. Right? I mean, I don't know all the context of that situation. I'm not mentioning any names. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. If you do know about it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Overall, the bigger picture of what this whole fucking rant is we need to really transition back into changing people's lives versus running up a bag to flex on Instagram, because the world genuinely needs coaching and education now more than ever before. Like, think about how America in general, like, we're extremely obese. We have a ridiculous mental health crisis going on. People are extremely broke and they don't know how to get out of it. And you, as someone who's an expert, if you are that expert, you have the ability to genuinely change their lives. And what happens is when we stay stuck in this mentality of, not actually delivering on good product or not actually transforming lives, you take someone who just spent their last dollar on a program or on a coaching program by someone who is a proclaimed expert in said field, and they didn't get what they were promised. Now that person has a bad taste in their mouth for anyone who is an expert or coach that could potentially change their lives, but they're not going to do it anymore because of that bad taste in their mouth. And that not only sucks for you, it sucks for everybody. Because it sucks for him, because now him or her, now that person is never going to get the help they need, and they're going to stay stuck in their current situation. And the other coaches who genuinely help people and genuinely transform lives, they're not going to get the opportunity to actually help them because they've had a bad taste in their mouth, right? I think people really tend to forget, especially in this space, people tend to really forget about how much this actually matters to other people, and they're not always just a number on the screen, right? Just because you get paid very, very, very well, that's a good thing, and you should, as long as you're genuinely transforming lives, because it's just a ripple effect that's really going to impact everybody. So I think what I'm really trying to say here is I think everyone should really take a look at their offers and take a look at your programs in general and just think about it. Is your offer specifically designed to get someone to purchase, or is your offer specifically designed to actually help your target audience? Because if it is built specifically to help someone in your target audience or to help that target audience in general, and it actually does, your results that you get for your clientele is going to make you more money anyway. And you won't have to deal with the issues of, not being able to pay your sales team, or, being a scam and all this stuff. You won't have to deal with all that shit because you're genuinely getting results for people at a really good rate. And I think that is something I think everybody should do, is really think about the customer first and stop just playing the game of, flex on Instagram and look at my ego and impress other men. It's kind of gay when you think about it, but we don't have to get there. So to end this rant, go back to transformation. go back to genuinely helping people and put that as your primary focus and put transformation as your primary focus. Because I think without it, we will completely eliminate the online coaching space. And I don't think that's very good for humanity, honestly. I think humanity really benefits from it. And I think we can all do a better job than what we're currently doing and really change people's lives. That's it from me. See ya.